Have you ever wondered why some diseases simply refuse to heal? Why do some people recover quickly while others continue to suffer for months or even years despite taking medicines, following treatments, and doing everything their doctors recommend? Perhaps you have experienced this yourself, or maybe someone you love is walking through such a difficult journey right now. You pray for relief, you search for answers, and yet the pain remains. In those quiet moments, a question naturally arises in the heart: why is this happening to me? Many people begin to feel frustrated, confused, or even abandoned. They wonder if they have done something wrong. They wonder why their efforts seem to bring so little change. But what if there is a deeper reason behind some forms of suffering? What if certain illnesses are not only physical conditions but also messages carrying a hidden lesson for the soul? Throughout history, great spiritual teachers have taught that life speaks to us in many ways. Sometimes it speaks through joy, success, and blessings. And sometimes it speaks through challenges that force us to stop, reflect, and look within. Paramahansa Yogananda taught that human beings are much more than physical bodies. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. From this higher perspective, even illness can have a deeper purpose that is not immediately visible to the mind. This does not mean suffering is good or that we should not seek healing. Rather, it invites us to explore a profound question: could there be something our soul is trying to understand through this experience? In today's video, we will explore why some diseases seem resistant to healing, what spiritual wisdom reveals about this mystery, and how understanding these deeper truths can bring peace, strength, and a new perspective even in the midst of life's greatest challenges. When people become ill, their first instinct is naturally to focus on the body. They seek doctors, medicines, treatments, and remedies. There is nothing wrong with this. In fact, caring for the body is both wise and necessary. Yet sometimes a person does everything correctly and still finds that healing does not come as expected. This can create a deep emotional conflict. At first there is hope. Then there is frustration. Eventually there may be discouragement, fear, or even despair. The illness becomes more than a physical condition, it becomes a burden carried in the heart and mind. Imagine a person who wakes up every morning with pain and goes to sleep every night wondering when relief will come. Friends may offer advice. Family members may express concern. Yet no one truly understands what it feels like to live inside that experience day after day. Over time, the person may begin to feel isolated and exhausted. What makes this struggle even more difficult is that many people become completely focused on fighting the illness while overlooking what may be happening within themselves. They ask, "How do I get rid of this?" but rarely ask, "What is this experience showing me?" Spiritual wisdom suggests that every challenge carries both an outer and an inner dimension. The outer dimension is the physical symptom. The inner dimension is the lesson, awareness, or transformation that the experience may be encouraging. Sometimes the greatest suffering comes not from the illness itself but from our resistance, fear, and inability to understand its deeper meaning. The hidden problem is that many people see only the physical battle and never explore the spiritual invitation hidden within it. When we begin to look beyond the surface, we may discover that the journey toward healing involves much more than simply curing the body. It may also involve healing the mind, the heart, and the soul. To understand why some diseases seem to resist healing, we must first understand something important about human nature. According to spiritual wisdom, we are not merely physical bodies made of flesh and bone. We are living beings composed of body, mind, and soul. These three aspects of our existence are deeply connected, constantly influencing one another in ways we may not fully recognize. Think about how worry can keep you awake at night. Think about how fear can make your heart race or how sadness can drain your energy. These are simple examples showing that the mind affects the body. Now imagine the effects of carrying fear, anger, resentment, guilt, or hopelessness for many years. Such emotions can create an inner environment that is out of harmony. Paramahansa Yogananda often taught that thoughts are not powerless. Every thought carries energy. Every emotion leaves an impression on our consciousness. Over time, these inner patterns can shape the quality of our lives. This does not mean that every disease is caused by negative thinking. That would be an oversimplification and an unfair conclusion. Many illnesses have clear physical causes and require proper medical care. However, spiritual teachings suggest that our inner state can either support healing or create resistance to it. Sometimes the body receives treatment, but the mind remains trapped in fear. Sometimes a person prays for recovery while secretly believing they will never get better. This inner conflict weakens harmony. Healing becomes more difficult because different parts of the person are moving in different directions. True healing often begins when the body, mind, and spirit work together. When peace replaces fear, when faith replaces hopelessness, and when inner balance returns, the healing process can unfold more naturally. The deeper message is simple. Lasting wellness often requires attention not only to the body but also to the thoughts, emotions, and spiritual attitudes we carry within us every day. One of the most profound ideas found in spiritual traditions is the law of karma. Unfortunately, many people misunderstand it. They hear the word karma and immediately think of punishment. But karma is not punishment. Karma is simply the law of cause and effect operating throughout life. Every action creates a reaction. Every thought plants a seed. Every choice eventually produces a result. Just as a farmer cannot plant one type of seed and expect a different harvest, our lives are shaped by countless causes set in motion over time. Some causes are recent and easy to understand. Others may be much older and hidden from our awareness. According to spiritual teachings, the soul is on a long journey of growth and evolution. Along this journey, it encounters experiences that help it learn wisdom, compassion, patience, humility, and faith. Sometimes illness becomes one of those experiences. Not because God wishes to punish anyone, but because the soul may have something important to learn. Consider how many people discover their deepest strength during difficult times. Before illness, they may have rushed through life without reflection. They may have been consumed by stress, ambition, or constant distraction. Then a health challenge forces them to slow down. It creates space for self-examination and spiritual growth. What initially appears to be a tragedy sometimes becomes a turning point. The illness becomes a teacher. It reveals hidden fears, unhealthy habits, unresolved emotions, or forgotten spiritual values. Karma also operates through inner patterns. Repeated thoughts and emotional habits become powerful influences over time. A person who continually lives in bitterness, fear, or self-rejection creates patterns that affect their experience of life. Healing often requires transforming these patterns. The spiritual lesson is not to blame ourselves for suffering. Rather, it is to recognize that every challenge can become an opportunity for greater awareness. Even difficult experiences may contain seeds of wisdom that help the soul awaken to a deeper understanding of life. The connection between our inner world and our physical well-being can often be seen in everyday life. Consider the person who worries constantly. Their mind is always anticipating problems. Even when life is peaceful, they remain tense and anxious. Over time, this continuous state of stress drains their energy and affects their overall sense of well-being. Or think about someone who holds on to resentment for many years. They replay old hurts repeatedly in their mind. The painful event may have happened long ago, but emotionally they continue to relive it every day. Such patterns can quietly influence the quality of life in ways that are not always obvious. Another common example is self-criticism. Some people spend years telling themselves they are not good enough, not worthy enough, or not successful enough. Even when others appreciate them, they struggle to appreciate themselves. This creates an inner atmosphere of tension rather than peace. Yet there is another side to this story. We have all met people facing serious illnesses who radiate remarkable calmness and strength. Their bodies may be suffering, but their spirit remains bright. They inspire everyone around them. They smile despite challenges. They express gratitude despite pain. Their presence reminds us that true health is not measured only by physical condition. It is also reflected in the state of consciousness. A person may have a healthy body but a troubled mind. Another person may face physical difficulties yet possess deep inner peace. Spiritual wisdom teaches that real healing involves both dimensions. The goal is not merely to eliminate symptoms but to cultivate harmony within ourselves. As we observe these real-life situations, we begin to understand an important truth: the way we think, feel, and respond to life matters. It shapes our experience more than we often realize. By becoming aware of these inner patterns, we take the first step toward deeper healing and transformation. When healing seems slow or uncertain, it is important not to lose hope. The first step is to continue caring for the body with wisdom and responsibility. Seek proper medical advice, follow necessary treatments, and do not neglect physical care. Spiritual understanding is not a replacement for medicine. Rather, it works alongside it. At the same time, we can begin exploring the deeper dimensions of healing. Instead of constantly asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can this experience teach me?" This simple shift transforms suffering into an opportunity for growth. Another powerful practice is cultivating inner stillness. Spend a few minutes each day in prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection. In silence, the mind gradually becomes calmer. We begin hearing the wisdom that is often drowned out by fear and worry. Forgiveness is another essential part of healing. Holding on to anger or resentment is like carrying a heavy burden everywhere we go. Forgiveness does not mean approving harmful actions. It means freeing ourselves from the prison of bitterness. Equally important is learning to nourish hope. Hope is not denial of reality. It is the decision to believe that healing, growth, and transformation remain possible. Faith creates a different inner atmosphere than fear. One opens the heart, while the other contracts it. Gratitude can also become a powerful medicine for the soul. Even during difficult times, there are blessings to notice. A supportive friend, a peaceful moment, a beautiful sunrise, or a simple act of kindness can remind us that life still contains goodness. Finally, remember that healing takes many forms. Sometimes the body improves. Sometimes relationships improve. Sometimes emotional wounds are healed. Sometimes spiritual awakening occurs. Do not measure your progress only by physical symptoms. Look also at how much stronger, wiser, more compassionate, and more peaceful you are becoming through the journey. Beyond every illness, challenge, and struggle lies a deeper spiritual truth waiting to be discovered. The greatest lesson many people learn through suffering is that they are more than their physical body. Most of us spend our lives identifying completely with our appearance, our abilities, our possessions, and our circumstances. When illness arrives, it can shake these identities. Suddenly, things that once seemed important lose their significance. We begin asking deeper questions about life, purpose, and the nature of the soul. Paramahansa Yogananda taught that our true nature is divine. At the center of our being exists a spiritual consciousness untouched by pain, disease, or limitation. The body may experience illness. The mind may experience worry. But the soul remains whole. Discovering this truth can transform how we face life's difficulties. Fear begins to lose its grip. We stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance and begin seeing ourselves as spiritual beings on a journey of growth. This does not remove all challenges, but it changes our relationship with them. We become less focused on asking, "Why is this happening?" and more interested in asking, How can I grow through this? Many people who have walked through great suffering later describe it as the experience that awakened them spiritually. It taught them compassion. It deepened their faith. It helped them discover inner strength they never knew they possessed. What once seemed like a burden became a doorway to a higher understanding of life. The deepest healing is not simply the disappearance of symptoms. It is the awakening of peace, wisdom, and spiritual awareness within the heart. When this awakening occurs, a person discovers something extraordinary. No matter what happens to the body, the light of the soul remains untouched, eternal, and connected to the divine. That realization itself becomes a profound form of healing. As we come to the end of this journey together, take a quiet moment and reflect on everything we have explored today. If you are facing an illness, a health challenge, or a period of suffering that seems difficult to understand, please remember that you are not alone. Every soul faces challenges, and sometimes the experiences that appear most painful on the surface carry the deepest opportunities for growth, awakening, and inner transformation. Healing is not always a straight path, and it does not always happen according to our timetable. Yet even in the midst of uncertainty, there is always hope. There is always the possibility of discovering greater wisdom, deeper faith, and a stronger connection with the divine. Perhaps the most important question to carry with you today is this: could the challenge I am facing right now be teaching me something my soul needs to learn? Take a few moments to reflect on that question and listen quietly to the answer that arises from within your own heart. If this message resonated with you, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Please share your thoughts and experiences. Have you ever gone through a difficult illness or life challenge that later revealed an important lesson? Or perhaps there is a spiritual insight from today's video that touched you deeply. Write it in the comments so that others in our community may also learn and be inspired. And if you found value in this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and sharing it with someone who may need these words today. Your support helps us continue spreading spiritual wisdom, inner peace, and practical guidance inspired by the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. Also, let me know in the comments what topic you would like to hear next. What spiritual question, life challenge, or teaching would you like us to explore in a future video? Until we meet again, may peace fill your heart, may wisdom guide your path, and may divine light shine upon your life. Jai Guru Dev.